Are you thinking about getting a new car lease, or you just want to know if your current lease is a good deal? You're in luck, because in this video, I'm gonna tell you how to lease the car the right way, step by step. What's up guys, my name is Nam. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how I was able to get a 1% lease with no money down. Today, I'm going to break down whether or not to lease a car, how to run your numbers, and where do I do my research before having stepped foot inside of a car dealership before the negotiation process. Leasing a car is not for everyone. If you're a highway warrior and you put on 15,000 miles per year, then it's probably best just to buy a used car, since new cars would appreciate even faster with high mileage. When you lease a car, you basically rent a car for a set amount of time and miles, then you just have to return it later. Because when you lease, you actually don't acquire any type of equity in the vehicle. So you can't sell the car a few years later just to use the equity to help buy your next car. But there are times that you can gain equity inside of a lease. If you watch this video to the very end, I'll discuss how to do this later in the video. Financially, driving new cars are never cost efficient since so much of the car's value is lost in depreciation in the first few years. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but if you're someone who always wants to have the latest model of anything, might as well just get a lease instead of buying a new car. When you lease, you don't have to worry about the maintenance because new cars offer a warranty that lasts about the same terms of a lease. So when you get a 3-year lease, most repairs that you need will probably be covered. Leasing can greatly eliminate the possibility of a significant expense. Leasing also maximizes tax deductions. If you use a car for business purposes, a lease will often allow you to write off more taxes than a loan would. That's because the IRS allows you to deduct both depreciation and the financial costs that are part of each monthly payment. Another advantage is lower payments. If you're worried about monthly payments on the short term, then leasing can save you in that point of view. Because when you buy a new car, your payment will be the total price over so many months, and this also includes the tax of the total sell price. On the other hand, when you lease a car, you're paying only for the depreciation and the usage. The total cost of payments are usually a lot lower rather than a payment of a new car. Plus, you only pay taxes on the cost of the lease rather than the whole cost of the car. So this actually frees up more money so you have more leverage to invest or have more capital to grow your own business. So right here, I have an example of a Jeep Wrangler on their website. As you can see, the cost of buying a Jeep at $31,000, the payment will be $579 for 5 years. But when you compare this to leasing the same car at the same price, your lease is $303 for 3 years at 12,000 miles per year. So right there, when you subtract the differences of payments in the first 3 years, just by leasing, you will save $9,938. Just remember though, some cars lease way better than other cars. Depending on the brand, year, and the popularity of the car, this will factor in how well you can actually get a great deal. Getting a great deal mostly boils down to the details of each car's lease program. There are actually 6 factors to consider. The first thing you have to know is the MSRP, the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Every car has a retail price. This includes all the add-ons, the packages to the base price of the car, so you can actually find the MSRP on the window sticker of the car or on the dealer's website. The selling price. Next is the actual selling price of the car. So this is before any type of incentives or taxes. Most people pay a selling price way below the MSRP because they were able to negotiate a better deal with the dealer. Just remember though, most car deals are negotiable, even leases. If you have ever received emails or advertised papers of lease specials, all this does is gives you an impression that the lease prices are set by the manufacturer. But in reality, individual dealerships determine the selling price of a car, who then applies the manufacturer lease program that gives you the actual selling price. So a manufacturer lease special simply just assumes that a particular selling price that they expect the dealers to honor. There are some aspects of a lease that you can't get around. With a lease, typically you will have to pay an acquisition fee and often a disposition fee. These are legit fees, but some dealers mark this up as well. So just make sure you just go over the paperwork before you sign anything. Next is incentives and rebates. Think about this just as free money directly from the manufacturer, which you can apply this against the total cost of the MSRP, so this can get you a better rate on your lease. Before stepping foot in a dealership, look for incentives or rebates that you qualify for, because this can greatly lower the sell price. Next, we're going to talk about the residual value. This is the manufacturer's estimated car value after a set period of time. The residual value is expressed by the percentage of the MSRP, not the price that you paid for the car. Auto companies often set residual values of every car and estimate how much the car will be worth in 2 to 3 years, depending on the mileage. sometimes the company do get this number wrong. So now let's say that the automaker gives your 30,000 car a residual value of $20,000 after 3 years. But in reality, after 3 years, your car is actually only worth $15,000. So you avoided that $5,000 loss. So this amounts to about $140 a month saved. And other times, the opposite can happen. Your car can be worth more than what the manufacturers actually expected. This means that sometimes you can cash out any equity that you do have. Car buyers like CarMax or Carvana will cash you out on the difference if you sell your car to them. Another factor of the lease is the months and miles. So these are terms of the lease. Most leases are about 36 months, but other terms are actually available as well. So just pay attention to the miles of advertised leases because some go low as 7,500 miles per year. I don't know about you, but where I live in California, it's extremely difficult to drive that low. So consider your commute plus extra miles that you may have to use. Because when it comes time to turn in your car, those extra miles can add up real quick and those could be hefty fees. The next thing to look at is the money factor. This is the interest rate, but expressed in a different way for a lease. Multiply the money factor by 2,400 to get an equivalent APR. Some salesmen have no clue what the money factor is, let alone the rate. Sometimes the money factor won't be on the paperwork, so you have to run your own numbers to see if the dealer numbers are close to yours at all. You definitely want to do research on this number prior to signing your lease. But there are legit ways to lower your money factor. Some car makers like Audi, Infiniti, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Toyota, they offer MSDs, which are multiple security deposits that will lower your money factor. So what this is that this is money that is just a security deposit that's not a down payment. And you get this money back after you turn in your lease. So now let's figure out how to find the best deals on a lease. Research, research, research. So find a car that has a new model coming out. Like for my car, I got a 2018 RDX and the 2019 has a new body and it has new updates and new styling. You can sometimes find deals of cars that were just last year's model. These cars will give you the most bang for your buck. Another way to find the best deals is to join forums like Edmunds or LeaseHacker. Edmunds is especially good for finding residual values and money factors on cars. There are full-time moderators that their full duty is to help you out providing these numbers. And plus, everyone is super helpful on those forums. To get a baseline to where to start negotiating, I use an app called Honker. So this app is a lease broker and they offer pre-negotiated deals of nearby dealerships. What I like about this app is that you don't have to sign up to get special pricing just to get frequent calls from salesmen just trying to entice you to come in. So with this app, you can adjust the terms of the lease, like the months, the miles, or the drive-off fees. This was how I was able to get my car and have some negotiation power when I was negotiating at other dealerships. So just start here as a baseline, but not just your only source. The next tool I used was LeaseHacker. LeaseHacker is a website that actually got me into lease hacking. On this forum, there are members that share tips and leases that they were able to acquire. This gives you great insight of how far you can actually price down a car. There are also car salesmen on these sites, so they post a monthly inventory that gives you the best terms that they can actually offer. But again, you must do your due diligence before accepting any offer. So look at recent deals and run your own numbers. What makes LeaseHacker really useful to me is that they have a lease calculator. So right here is a LeaseHacker calculator. So you can just plug and play with your numbers for your lease to see if you're getting a good deal or not. So right here, I got the Acura because I got a 2018 Acura RDX. The MSRP of the car at the time was $37,000 for the base model. And this is the selling price I was able to get. So I got about 20% off of the MSRP, which comes out to be about $29,000. These were the terms of my lease. It was 36 months for 12,000 miles per year. And the residual value after 3 years was going to be at 55%. So this was the money factor I was able to get. It was 0.00031. So, which comes out to be an APR of 0.74%. Cap cost adjustments is basically any reductions that you can reduce your sale price. So these are rebates, manufacturer specials. So I was able to get an extra $750 off because of military status. And I also choose to have a zero drive off. All the fees and taxes were rolled on to the lease payments. So I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket right away. So these are the fees that are associated with the lease. There was an acquisition fee, dealer fees, government fees, also sales taxes included as well. So this is kind of a breakdown of what my lease turned out to be. My lease was actually a little bit lower than this. It was about $303 instead of $308. This calculator is not a exact number of what you will get. It's kind of just an estimate. So just play with this and try to get numbers as closely as possible to your lease. And whenever you're doing a negotiation process or running your own numbers, you can kind of guess that the numbers are going to be somewhat around the price that the Lease Hacker calculator will estimate. So my monthly payments turned out to be $303 actually instead of $308. There was zero drive-off fees. So which is pretty neat about this tool is that you get a Lease Hacker score, which the Lease Hacker score is basically the number of years that it would take to accumulate average monthly payments to exceed the MSRP. So the higher number that you get basically means that you're getting a better deal because those are the number of payments that it will take to pay off your car. Here are some things to consider. A general rule of thumb is doing the 1% test. So let's say the car that you want to lease is $30,000, so you want a monthly payment of $300 or less. With that said, there are a few things to consider. The 1% rule doesn't account for variables such as annual mileage or money that you put down. A 15,000 mile per year lease that passes the 1% test is way more impressive than a 10,000 mile per year lease of the same car that passes the test as well. But again, not all car brands can pass this test. Cars like Toyota, Lexus, or Porsche, they generally don't lease so well, so you may not even come close to this 1% rule. So you have to look at deals that other people are getting and decide whether or not this is something that you want to pursue. Another consideration is that you generally don't want to have a down payment. There are two good reasons for this. If your car is ever stolen or totaled, you can always walk away from the lease without a penalty because most leases require you to get gap insurance. However, you won't always get your down payment back, so that money is long gone. The second reason is that a down payment makes it difficult to compare deals. Any car can be leased for $199 a month if you put enough money down. So in this video, I went over some advantages of leasing a car and whether or not leasing is for you. I also talk about 6 important factors that you must know before leasing and how to do your research before browsing ads and receiving quotes. Remember, one deal may look better than the other, but after accounting the upfront costs, the down payment, and these 6 factors, now you can know whether or not a lease is a good deal or not.